Yo, what's up guys? Teacher Paul here, and today we're doing a video that I wanted to do for a long time. I have been saying this for a very long time here on the channel. If you guys remember, you will know that I have been talking about this public transport system, which is absolutely incredible. The name of this video is The America's Best Designed Metro System. And I've been to New York and I've seen their system. I've been to Argentina, I've seen their system. And I honestly believe that in all of America, this one is actually the best. And hey, I live in London right now, so I think it pairs up. It competes with London public transport system, to be honest with you, which London has one of the best. What does the fox say? Thank you, Ram, for that. We are live right now. What the fox say? We are live right now on Twitch, so come join us. This is absolutely one of the best. If you guys take a look, this is from a channel called Urban Americas. And guys, don't forget to like, don't forget to subscribe, and let's go. Let's check this out.
When you think about the design of world-class transit systems, what kinds of features come to mind? Modern details like platform screen doors and step-free accessibility? Well-laid-out stations with smooth transfers between lines and...
This one right here, I used to take this every single day to go to work.
Accessibility? Well-laid-out...
This one right here. I used to take it every single day. From Itaquera to Palmeiras Barra Funda. So if you guys know, and if you have been on the channel, I used to work in a TV station, and the TV station has the headquarters in Barra Funda. And I used to live in Itaquera, which is on the other side. So it's from tip to tip that I used to travel. So Barra Funda is where the headquarters of this TV station, which is the second biggest TV station in Brazil. That's where I used to work. And funnily enough, Palmeiras is one of the biggest teams in Brazil. And if you didn't know and haven't noticed yet, this transport system is from São Paulo. One of the best transport systems that I can tell you guys. It works, it's efficient, and São Paulo is, I think, maybe the 5th largest city in the world. And this public system, albeit it does have some flaws, it's overcrowded, but it is very effective, and it will get you around the town, around the city. And Palmeiras is one of the biggest football teams, although it doesn't have a World Cup. Não tem mundial, but you know what I'm saying. It's where the stadium is, so it's very interesting. Let's see.
Stations with smooth transfers between lines and seamless connections into walkable neighborhoods? What about beautiful architecture with high-quality craftsmanship and abundant natural light? We often think of these features as commonplace in East Asia and Western Europe, but painfully scarce in the Americas and the developing world. But as it turns out, South America's largest city offers a shining example of quality mass transit with...
Look at this one. This is the yellow line. The yellow line has a protective door here, which is similar to what we have in the Elizabeth line here in London. And I left Brazil 10 years ago, and we already had that. And there are some places here that still don't have that, but it is very, very effective and very safe.
Modernized systems, universal accessibility, and exceptional architecture. So let's hop aboard and see what we can learn from the world-class design of the Sao Paulo Metro. Welcome to Urban Americas, a channel about the best urban planning and transit systems up and down the American continent.
And I'm telling you, this is much, much better than the New York.
City
the New York public system. It's much, much better. And if you guys know, I have a song that I recorded here. This is the Avenida Paulista, which you're going to see.
Brazil's largest city flies under the radar in urbanist circles.
And since we're talking about this, right here, this building is the biggest building that doesn't have any columns. Like it's the biggest or the longest freestanding building, at least at the time that I was there. You can see that under it, there is absolutely nothing. It is only held by the 4 pillars around it on the corners, but there is nothing underneath it. So it's very interesting. So this is the MASP Museum. It's very interesting.
But its transit, street design, and public
Queria não
spaces
mais.
all deserve wider attention.
I also used to work here. So the headquarters of this TV station is in Barra Funda. And then later on, when I started doing a little bit of a different style, which is the marketing, that's where I used to work. I went from Barra Funda to Paulista. But that's enough about me. Let's look at the transport system. I'm just giving you some insight of places I know.
Transit, street design, and public spaces all deserve wider attention. In the last video, we explored urban design in Sao Paulo's best walkable neighborhoods, including the massive car-free street network at the heart of the city. In this video, we'll head underground to explore the ways this South American giant punches well above its weight on transit design. Before we get rolling, a few quick caveats about the scope of this video. First, this is not going to be a full system overview. Instead, I'll focus on common design features across the core of the network from about a dozen or so stations that I visited, plus 2 stations further south on the Purple Line 5.
Do you see right over there, like where the blue starts? When where the blue meets the red, it says Sé. Under that, that's Japão Liberdade, which means Japan Liberty. So the Liberty neighborhood is where our biggest Japanese community lies. And if you go there, even the streets are decorated as Japan. So we have a huge Japanese community there. Like huge. It's the biggest one.
This is also not a greatest hits video of the system, and I don't, for instance, have footage of the monorail or the fancy glass canopies on Line 5.
Nice.
I also won't be covering the wider reaching metropolitan trains in much detail, but
this one is Luz, and it's a station that is based. It's kind of. I think it's inspired in the St. Pancras that we have here in the UK, because it's very European looking.
Keep in mind that these routes too are extensive and continuing to grow, supplementing the metro with longer distance services and higher top speeds.
Please show the map.
If you'd like to learn more about the system as a whole, including the region's metropolitan trains, monorails, and features not covered here, I'll link to several other English language videos down in the description. We'll begin at the heart of the city, at Praça da Sé, which marks the historic center of the city and is anchored by its soaring neo-Gothic cathedral. Beneath this vast plaza sits the network's busiest transfer station, linking lines 1 and 3 with a 3-level layout connected by a skylit atrium. Throughout the core of the network, many stations open onto plazas, parks, and pedestrian spaces, providing a welcoming environment for people entering and exiting the system. And Sé is no exception. Opening onto this vast plaza, the metro station meets the city with a wide row of escalators. The station lobby is bathed in natural light, as sunlight cascades down into a lush sunken garden planted with understory plants and filled out with public art. Like many stations on the network,
the public art.
Sé benefits from universal, step-free accessibility.
It's beautiful.
Grabbing our tickets, a requirement for foreigners since only permanent residents can buy Metro cards, we pass through the fare gates. Here we find basic but welcome amenities. Free and reasonably clean bathrooms, trash collection with sorted recycling, and even a little something extra. From the upper level...
A little something extra. Don't know if you guys noticed what that was, but yeah, it's free preservatives. Anyways. Don't know why he showed that anyways. But here's the thing about the ticket system. It's not like here in the UK where you pay... how much you travel. It's one fare system. It's a one fare system. So if you're going to the other side of town, you're still going to pay one ticket. If you're going 2 stations ahead, you're still going to pay one ticket, which I don't know if it's absolutely fair or the best system. But you pay once and you tap in only in the entrance, and then when you go out, the exit doesn't, you don't need to tap in again, or tap out rather. So you just use it once. You pay in the entrance and that's it. Here in the UK, you tap in and then you tap out, and then they calculate how much you traveled, and then depending on the zone that you traveled through, you pay higher or lower.
We get a good look down at the station's clever layout. One level below, the trains of Line 3 pass beneath curving, cast-in-place balconies as riders queue to board. I was so impressed with the quality of the concrete finishes that these Brazilian contractors achieve. It's a level of craft no other country on the continent could pull off. Here you can see how the two tracks of Line 3 split apart on opposite sides of the central skylight, creating a Spanish solution layout with staggered exiting onto the central platform, followed by boarding from the sides. This kind of layout is great for busy transfer stations, as it eliminates conflicts between those trying to get off the train and those pushing to board, and it's also used on the bottom level platforms of Line 1.
Yeah, and the first ones, like to the sides, there are a few what do you call them? There are a few areas for preferential. Like the first wagon is a preferential one. So, like ladies, pregnant ladies, elderly people, disabled people. If they go to the first wagon, then they can get in without any hassle.
Here, the two tracks stick closer together, slicing through the bottom of the atrium and releasing passengers into the natural light of this 3-story space. SEI is a fantastic transfer station and a great place to dive into the network, but the whole of the system holds its own as a showcase of quality transit design. Lines 1 and 3, for instance, often employ tapered platforms that provide more space at the middle of the platform and then get narrower at the edges where foot traffic is lower.
You can go all over the city with
this. I also appreciate the natural light wells, which here are just a few concrete skylights, but are still commendable given that the whole station is built beneath a highway.
And it's very clean.
You'll also see dedicated carriages set aside for bikes, which, along with bike parking at newer stations, helps the metro system integrate with the city's growing cycling network. Across the system, station architecture is subtle and modern, but consistently well detailed, with comfortably proportioned spaces, often with natural light from above. Even when the station interiors are nothing extraordinary, the high-quality finishes on the concrete mean these stations are easy to keep clean, without all the rough surfaces and grimy nooks and crannies of New York or Mexico City's systems.
Yeah.
You'll also often see metal railings.
In New York, I saw like so many dirty stations and so many rats, and also they kept changing stuff. Like, for example, I asked one of the workers, hey, where do I get the train to the airport? And then I mentioned I just asked him, and he said, okay, you go down, and it's over here. And then when I went there, they said, oh, sorry, the train has changed because of the time. I don't know. I still don't understand what happened. Apparently, different days and different times, trains stop in different platforms. It just didn't make a lot of sense, but I guess you get used to it. And I asked someone near me, and they said, yeah, different days and different times, the train just goes somewhere else. I don't know.
That help people queuing to board to stay out of the way of those disembarking.
And we saw a lot of crazy stuff in the New York train, in the New York Metro too. It was some of it was fun, like street dancers. That was pretty cool. I recorded that, but some other stuff was like just scary.
To stay out of the way of those disembarking. A key reason Sao Paulo has gotten so good at building metro lines is that it always has multiple projects in design and under construction. Whether new lines or extensions to old ones, the city for decades has had a steady flow of new projects for its designers, engineers, and builders to keep working on. these consistent new projects allow local expertise to grow in both the public and private sectors, and gives the people doing the work the experience to deliver better, faster, and cheaper projects as the years go by.
The sad part is that most people in Brazil, they will not value it. It's very undervalued. People will complain, people will say a lot of stuff. They really don't know what they have there. A lot of people, they will just complain and say it's trash and just say it's not a good train or public transport until they go to a different place. Even here in the UK, there are a few lines that, goodness, you get deaf. Like if you take the Bakerloo line, you need earplugs because that is so. It's a rocky ride and it's so noisy. Um, and we have like air conditioners, which are really nice and cozy in Brazil. Here, sometimes it's broken. So I think a lot of people who live there, they don't give enough value or enough credit where credit is due until they leave and go to other countries and realize, dang, we have a good system. And I'm a culprit of that too, because when I was there, I used to complain about it too. Of course, we're going to complain if it's overcrowded. We're going to complain of a lot of things, like even the transfer. Sometimes we need to go to a little bit further to transfer and then come back. Sometimes there are a few things that are just annoying. Like, instead of going diagonally, we have to go up and then left or right instead of just going in an angle and reaching our destination. But those things, they're just because São Paulo is so big. It's such a big city. But at the end of the day, being around the world and seeing other public transport systems, I think São Paulo has one of the best. And I do think it's the best of Americas. It's definitely the best.
This, all while doing the necessary and important work of
And the
building out
amount
a
of stations they
space-efficient
have,
transportation system
amazing.
fit for a city of 20 million.
20 million people in a city.
The most recent evolution to the system is evident in lines 4 and 5 that have platform screen doors in every station and run mostly in bored tunnels deep underground. Along with the Metro of Santiago, Chile, and cities in Canada to a lesser extent, Sao Paulo is emerging as a regional leader in the implementation of platform screen doors. Platform screen doors all but eliminate the risk of a user being hit by a train, and that's on its own an important achievement.
Exactly.
But alongside that obvious safety upgrade comes a suite of other benefits to service. The added security means that trains can enter the stations at full speed without worrying about the risk of hitting anything. The doors also prevent garbage, phones, and people from falling on the tracks, which can delay service for anywhere from a few minutes up to a few hours.
And it's important because in a very stressful place like this is a big city, and it's the heart of the business of Brazil. It's the heart of I would say it's the financial capital of Brazil, and it is a very stressful place. So if some people aren't right in their mind, if they're so stressed, so tired, so exhausted, and they get just very nasty thoughts, this is a way to protect them from themselves, So it is an important investment.
And the added safety gives peace of mind to riders in wheelchairs and with limited mobility, who are able to use these newer stations with universal, step-free accessibility. The benefits of platform screen doors far outweigh their costs of implementation, and it's a shame they haven't taken wider hold in North America. But with new lines in Lima and Bogotá following Santiago and Sao Paulo's lead, it's great to see this common sense technology becoming the new standard across South America.
Exactly.
While most of lines 4 and 5 are notably deeper than others in the system, there are some great moments at shallower stations where landscaped light wells bring not only daylight but greenery into the underground. Still, most stations are far too deep for such features.
Oh
and
yeah,
the majority
speak about
get their limited
Pinheiros.
natural light through generously glazed entry buildings. With
Please
the
speak
track
about
several
Pinheiros.
stories below the surface, it takes multiple escalator rides to reach the mezzanine. Key transfer stations feature sets of multiple parallel escalators, which is a pretty smart thing to plan for before your system is packed and over capacity. At the bottom of these access shafts,
So I don't know if he's going to show it, but there is a station in Brazil, Pinheiros, where you have to take at least 8 escalators to get to the platform down. It's like really, really deep, really deep.
the mezzanine levels hang suspended
And they are not short escalators, they're long escalators. I hope he shows it.
in double height station tunnels, with escalators providing access down to the tracks on either side. With the sleek concrete complemented by colored tile work, and building systems hung suspended from the structure, these subtle stations make for a worthy addition to the system's exquisite architecture.
It's amazing how I recognize every single one of these places. But if I stop to talk about everything, then you guys aren't gonna watch the video. But it's crazy because you guys know, as a teacher, I used to go to different places to give classes. I wasn't teaching in a school per se. I was teaching like in company. So I traveled all over, and the transport system really, really helped me because all over, like literally, I know I know every extent of São Paulo.
That's really the point of this video at the end of the day. There are a lot of ways to measure the success of a transit system. Track length, ridership, station numbers, system coverage, and by all of those metrics, certainly, Sao Paulo is shaping up as a leader on the American continent. But there's also the experiential side of a transit system, those unquantifiable details that do or don't make a system pleasant to move through and easy to use. And this is where I think Sao Paulo truly excels. The smooth flowing transfers with easy access from one platform to the next, the modern features that improve both speed and safety, the natural light that makes underground stations more relaxed and humane. Good public transit is more than just an engineering question. It's the human-centered design details that make transit comfortable and dignified, that elevate the whole experience of being part of a city into something truly world-class. If you enjoyed this video, be sure to check out part 1 of this Sao Paulo series, and subscribe for new videos about transit and urbanism across the hemisphere. And if you want to learn more about the Sao Paulo Metro, check out the videos by others linked down in the description. Thanks for watching.
It's pretty dope. But one thing that I wanted him to show you guys, and he did not, is the map. So let me pull that up. Let me pull up the map. And you will see how this is. So this is the map. I'll open 2 maps so you guys can have a clear image of how many lines we have. And of course, it doesn't really compare to the UK one, London, because London is absolutely crazy when it comes to lines. But let me pull it up. Okay. Oh, but I'm not getting a good image. Okay, I think this one is a better image. Okay, so this is the map of the trains in São Paulo. So I don't know how big the maps are for you guys, but this is the one. So you can see that there are multiple lines, multiple colors, and this will take you to so many different places. You know what's crazy? I'm so used to this map that I thought this was the London Underground map for a second. I was like, wait, what? So you see what I'm telling you? We don't have a circle line, and that's the only issue that I take with this design, because we don't have a circle line. So let's say you want to go from Rio Grande da Serra, for example, number 10 on the far right, and you want to go to number 9 on the far left. You're going to have to go straight into the middle and then take your red line and then take the yellow line and then take the green line. So those are, or you can go to the green line and then go to the purple line and then you'll get there. So you see, you have to transfer so many times instead of having like a circle line, which will connect you to every single line in the, in the area. But you can see that this is definitely like not a small transport system. You have so many lines, and the one we saw earlier was number I think it was number 3. Interesting. Yeah, it was number 3. Let me see if I can get the London Underground map so we can compare. So you see that London Underground map, it has so many other lines. Look, so this is the São Paulo one, and this is the Underground map for London. So you see, it has so many other lines in the Underground. It has so many different ones. But this also includes Overground and includes other stuff. And you can see there's a circle line right over there. But you can see that it's not few, the one we have in São Paulo. It's not few. We have quite a lot. And it's expanding. It's expanding to go all over. But I do wish they have either a circle line or even a square line to connect all corners so that you can easily transfer and go to other places. But with that said, guys, let me know your thoughts in the comments down below. I hope you enjoyed this video and a little bit more about the city that I basically worked for the past, well, I worked there for 8 years. Yeah. With that said, thank you guys for watching. I hope you enjoyed it. Like, subscribe, and if you want to request a video, go over to Buy Me a Coffee or click over here, and I'll see you soon. If you want to go to Patreon or Buy Me Coffee to watch full movie reaction series and shows, links are in the pinned comments. Take care. Bye-bye.